Welcome to another episode of Ben Alexander Eats of the Week. And on Monday, 1:15, I had leftover chicken tortilla soup. At that point, I was still sick, and I wanted to stay safe and eat dairy-free chicken tortilla soup that my mom made. And for dinner, I had homemade pizza that my mom made as well. I had carrots and my grandma's pumpkin bread to go with it. You know, when my family makes cooking, you know it's going to be safe because they know my allergies very well, especially my mom. She probably knows my allergies better than I do some days, and she's great, and she does, and my grandma obviously understands my allergies as well, so they know what to put and what not to put. So that is really helpful, and I can't complain at all. Thank you, guys. And on Tuesday, 1:16, for lunch, I had that leftover pizza from last night. I was just looking for a quick lunch before I headed off to work. And for dinner, I had Campbell's soup and Sour Patch Kids. So my friend at work gave me Sour Patch Kids, and it was only like 2, but I mean, still, it's Sour Patch Kids. You can never complain about Sour Patch Kids. And my work, they gave all their workers, including me, and staff and managers and all that stuff, soup. So it was like Campbell's. I'm not 100% sure, but it was like, I remember having chicken noodle soup and like a sirloin steak potato soup. Those were like the 2 soups. I can't recall the name 100%, but I know that they were really, really good and they were safe with my allergies. I double checked and read the ingredients before I ate it because luckily they had cans there that I could read the ingredients and there was no problems there. And for snack, I had grandma's pumpkin bread. I honestly thought the 2 bowls of soup would fill me up for the rest of the night, but then when I came home from work, I'm like, yeah, I need to eat something. So I decided to eat grandma's pumpkin bread, and I just can't complain about it. And on Wednesday, 1:17, for lunch, I had corn dogs. They've been a go-to item for me, and I really enjoy these dairy-free corn dogs. And for dinner, I went to Arby's. I had my usual chicken nuggets, curly fries, though I will replace it with crinkle fries every once in a while, and an apple turnover. I mean, it's Arby's, and these apple turnovers are really good. And, I just couldn't resist the chicken nuggets and the curly fries. Like, it's pretty hard to resist. And on Thursday, 1:18, for lunch, I had corn dogs again. And it's really hard to find dairy-free corn dogs, and I get so obsessed over it. The Foster Farms, that's the brand. Foster Farms big corn dogs, not the mini ones. For some reason, like the State Fair ones, like I think there's like State Fair ones, they have dairy in them. They're mini ones. I have yet to find mini corn dogs that are dairy-free. That will be awesome if I can find mini corn dogs that are dairy-free, but if you know a brand, please let me know in the comments section. And for dinner, I went to Sheetz. Chicken strips, fries, and a JJ Bakery's chocolate pie. And I also had a banana cream pie from the same brand, JJ's Bakery. And the rationale is I love going to Sheetz. Like, their chicken strips and fries are always really good. And I went to the kiosk and ordered it. Like, I didn't order ahead. And I could definitely taste the difference. Like, it was piping hot, and it was so good. I was like, wow, this is really awesome. And I will say Sheetz has extremely fresh hot food, and honestly, I'm really pleased to eat at Sheetz. And I mean, obviously, you could go into the convenience store, get some pies. I got a chocolate pie from JJ's Bakery and a banana cream pie. This is the first time I had a banana cream pie. And I'll be honest, it was really, really good. And it's all dairy-free as well because, who doesn't love a dairy-free pies? Especially for me since I have a dairy allergy, it's a pretty good deal. And I had 2 pies instead of 1. I normally have 1 pie, but I decided to do 2 pies because I was starving, really hungry. And on Friday, 1:19, for lunch, I had 2 gum sandwiches, potato chips, carrots, and grandma's pumpkin bread. So if you don't know what Gom is, so it's kind of like a German sloppy Joe. And Gom uses like cinnamon instead of like Manwich. And my family makes that over Manwich. And I've had sloppy Joes. I've had both. And honestly, there isn't a whole lot of difference between any of them. Like, if I had to be honest, it's like, it's just what my family decides to do. And it's like, all right, I don't mind. Like, I mean, it's basically the same name. It's like, you might as well call it a sloppy Joe, a German sloppy Joe at this point. I mean, because I think Gom was originated in Germany. That's what my parents have told me. So, you know, and our family does have German roots. So it makes perfect sense to why they make Gom instead of sloppy Joes. And for dinner, I had a slice of Grandma's pumpkin bread. I was extremely full from lunch, and I just had a slice of Grandma's pumpkin bread. And on Saturday, 1:20, for lunch, I had corn dogs, peaches, and Grandma's pumpkin bread. These were the last 2 corn dogs in the box. And I know I've talked about corn dogs and have eaten corn dogs for the last couple of weeks, but these are the last corn dogs in the box. And I finished off the corn dogs after a couple of weeks. And honestly, it's a really good value for lasting 2 weeks. It gives you plenty of meals to eat. And honestly, I recommend Foster Farms Big Corn Dogs. They're in a yellow package. And I think it's like honey dipped and all that stuff. So it's very, very, very good. And for dinner, I went to the Asian cafe. I got some sweet and sour chicken, fried rice, green beans, potatoes, frog legs, and a fortune cookie. And I did have a plate of Jell-O as well. So it's pretty much my usual that I get at the Asian cafe. Which, by the way, it is a buffet carry-out place, Asian Chinese place in Marysville, Ohio. And I've talked about it before. And I'm sure if you looked at my channel, I've talked about the Asian Cafe. I even did a video where I basically talked about the trip to Asian Cafe, and I basically explained what I eat there and why I eat there. So, yeah, what makes Asian Cafe so good to eat at. So, you know, check it out. I can maybe post it in my Instagram story, or you can just look for the channel wherever you're looking at. You know, you can go look at my channel and just type in Asian Cafe, and I'm sure it's going to be there. So it's still pretty easy to find. So, you know, just keep your eye on it, and I'll tell you what, you'll understand more of my reasoning of why Asian Cafe is a great place for food allergies. And on Sunday, 1/21, for breakfast, I had Grandma's pumpkin bread. And the rationale is I actually ate breakfast and I had Grandma's pumpkin bread, the very last slice of it. And I normally don't eat breakfast. I'm not much of a breakfast person, which is kind of weird. But of course, my schedule is a little bit different. I get up at 11 because I work from 1 to 10. So it's like 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. at night. So it's like, yeah, it's a different schedule. So that's why I normally don't eat breakfast. And for lunch, I had Mom's chili, peaches, and gummy bears. And the rationale is we had a chili cook-off at our church, and my mom made the chili. I didn't eat anybody else's chili. I think we had like 23 chilies, 23 or 24 chilies. It was a lot of chilies. And, you know, I didn't really ask anybody else to try the chilies because I knew my mom's was safe. So it was like, I'm just going to go with my mom's and then eat something later, which was the peaches and the gummy bears. So when you're at a party, you just got to be extremely careful what you eat. If there's no ingredients, don't eat it. So as long as you can see the ingredients or talk to the person that you trust made it, I wouldn't even scratch it, and I wouldn't even test it if I were you. And for dinner, I had chicken strips, raisins, and gummy worms. And I really love the Kirkwood chicken strips from Aldi. Add raisins and gummy worms, and I'd say you have a good meal right there. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Ben Alexander Eats of the Week. If you like this content, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing to my content.